walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We are here for Let's Meet the Playoffs. We're discussing Swansea. We've done Bournemouth. We've done Brentford. Now we're talking Swansea. I'm joined by Lewis. How are we doing, mate?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Plenty of the Swansea are a weird side. They are a very weird side in how they play, how they set up in general. They're a top side for me, it's just how they go about things, how they do it. But before we start, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on if you are new. It does help us out over here. That is for sure. Swansea, now I've done my research on them. They are a peculiar team, to say the least. Manager Steve Cooper. Steve Cooper is the manager. A very talented manager, definitely getting the best out of this Swansea side. Before we get into all of it, what's your just overall thoughts on Swansea this season? Because they've been right up there. They've sort of bottled the league in a way, but you can't really blame them for that because they have been performing well above what they should be doing.
I mean, you can't fault them. I'm pretty sure last season they were like mid-table round. I'm pretty sure.
They sneaked into the playoffs on the last day because Forest got absolutely destroyed by Stoke.
They did. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm for Cardiff for some reason. Yeah, they are a weird team. Because when they came down, I thought they're going to be too good for this league and they're going to go straight back to the Premier League. They haven't, and they've been down here for a few years. Is this year their time? Personally, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's one of them that you sort of have to wait and see. Really, playoffs are a difficult one to predict as it is, let alone when you've got a side that I'm unsure about. Are they meant to be higher? Are they meant to be where they are? These are all the questions that I have. The link is in the chat for anyone watching that would like to join me and Lewis in talking about Swansea. I know obviously Chelsea women are currently playing against Barcelona. Getting mauled to death is probably the politest way I could possibly put it. They're losing 4-0 to Barcelona in the Champions League final. Is that a way for things to go for Chelsea? I hope not, because that would be a disaster. But we're here talking Swansea. Link is in the chat for people who want to come on and discuss Swansea. Now, we might as well start with the basics, their formation. The formation that Steve Cooper normally plays is a 3-5-2 with a single pivot. Sometimes he'll do a 3-4-1-2 with Behanda or Smith, Corey Smith as the sort of number 10. Woodman is normally his first choice goalkeeper. You'd expect to see Woodman in both the games against Barnsley. Mark Gehi, Ryan Bennett and Carl Norton are his centre-backs of choice. Sometimes they've been swapped in and out. They are the three that I would expect to see turn up against Barnsley. You have Matt Grimes in the single pivot with Ayew and Lowe up front. Obviously, you have your two midfielders, but they're less clear. I would expect Jorge to play a part in this game. But that is how I do predict they'll line up like that. Obviously, wing backs will be whoever they are. I do expect Conor Jorge to play these games. He'll be crucial. He's been through a lot of stuff with some big teams. Obviously, he's on loan from Villa. He's been at Barnsley. So Conor going back home in a way, because when he left Argyle, he went to Barnsley, of course. But looking at that, the 3-5-2, the players that we're talking about, obviously Mark Guehi is on loan from Chelsea. He's got the foundations of a really strong defensive side, and that proves it, being the side that I think they've conceded the least amount of goals in the playoffs at the moment. So out of all the teams that are in the playoffs, Swansea have conceded the least amount of goals. So he's got that strong foundation at the back, doesn't he?
It seems that way. Hopefully they can maintain that, because not only do they have a good defensive line, they have a very good goalkeeper behind them, a goalkeeper that I could potentially see once maybe Dubravka moves on from. I think he's on loan. I don't know whether they've signed him permanently or not. I'm taking that as he's on loan. I think he's on loan. But a keeper, if he is on loan at Swansea, that can progress, and once Dubravka moved on, he can easily slot into that number one slot at Newcastle.
Yeah, he's been on loan. He's been on loan a couple of championship sides now. Charles saying big up Niall, big up to Charles. If you want to watch Charles very upset, go check out her stream where our Chelsea ladies are currently getting ripped to shreds by Barcelona. Barcelona are absolutely destroying them. Is the nicest way of putting that. That is the nicest way I could put that. Let's go Swansea. Swansea, as I say, are a very strange side. But there are some advantages. Defensively, they don't concede goals. That is something that I've noticed with Swansea. They rarely concede. I'll go through a lot of why they don't concede, because it is very interesting how Steve Cooper's got his team sort of lined up. But Max, what are your thoughts on Swansea overall so far?
Well, overall in this season, they have dropped a couple of points to teams that I didn't expect to. But they have got good form. They have got good players to win games. And they have got good positional play in their attack and defence. As I'm looking now, the last time they played Barnsley was 2-0 in December. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was the 16th of January. It was still 2-0. And in their last game, I'm pretty sure they played that same formation.
Yeah.
No, they played a 4-3-3. But anyway, their formation that you just mentioned, they're strong in that position. They know how to play in that way. And they have really got to push on now, because if they don't get the first leg done, then they could be in massive trouble. Because the way Barnsley played this season, they've improved a lot as well. Because if I'm looking at the table now, they're in 5th with 78 points. They are 2 points. They are 2 points off Swansea. So they could have overtaken them in 4th. So their form was 23 wins, 11 draws, and 12 losses. So that's not a bad run of form at all for a team that you expect to get up in the top 6. And if they don't, as I just said, if they don't get at least 1 or 2 goals in the first leg, then they're going to be in a little bit of trouble if Barnsley get a couple as well. So it's just got to be them relying on themselves to be strong in that position, play well in what they're doing, and have the tactics and strategy to push on and hopefully get the goals to put them through to the final.
Yeah. Chelsea nearly scoring a goal there. So close to getting on to the end of that cross. Still 4-0 to Barcelona. Ravi's saying 4-0 going to be 67-0 soon. Yeah, Chelsea have been carved open quite easily. That is for sure. Big up to DC. RJ so close to 9.97k. Yeah, as I said before, if you haven't subscribed to RJ, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. That's how we'll do it. And we all know
I saw
that
that
it's worse.
I saw that tweet.
It's worse to be. It's worse to be disappointed with someone than to be angry with them. That is for sure. But Kenny, what is your thoughts on Swansea? What's your overall thoughts and what do you expect to see from them?
So I've got the Swansea results right now here from when they were top of the league after beating Norwich City, and after they lost to Man City in the FA Cup, they started to tumble a bit against Forest. Of course,
Yeah.
they won, but they were awful. Do you mind me just listing some of these results that were poor and some
Go
of the
for it,
results
bro.
that
Go for
So
it.
after Man City, 1-0 Forest, quite lucky. But then 4-1 lost to Huddersfield. That massively derailed their season. Do you remember that? When home
Yeah.
goals. They only had 2 less shots than Huddersfield, actually. They weren't even... they were much better than Huddersfield on the day I watched the game. They were much better than Huddersfield. Huddersfield we just carved them open when they actually went on the attack. And that started to just derail Swansea's season a bit. And then after that, they beat Coventry 1-0, and Bristol beat them 3-1. Because remember, what Swansea's 70 minutes amazing. The last 30 minutes derailed a lot, lost 3-1.
Yeah.
And that is a team, Bristol City 19th, which they should be losing to. Stoke City 2-1, and Middlesbrough both got lucky penalties. Blackman also got a lucky penalty for 1-0. Then after that, 1-0 against Luton. But then after that, against the playoff side, they lost 3-0 to Bournemouth. And then lost 1-0 to Cardiff, 1-0 to Bristol, 1-0 to Preston. That was when, I think everyone knew that was when their form, they weren't going to get automatically promoted. And at one point, it did look like they could get back in the race. But that form, that was from when they were top 2, and then they just completely derailed. Otherwise, they would have definitely been promoted. Then after that, 3-0 win against Millwall, 2-0 against Wednesday. But then again, these 2-2 versus Wickham, 1-0 loss versus QPR, 2-2 versus Reading, and then 2-0 loss to Watford. It's this since they lost to Man City, this last third of the season for Swansea. There was sides against Forest. It just completely went. I don't think many didn't expect it, to be honest. I think many did expect Swansea to be real, but not because of the reasons of the City loss. Just because Swansea didn't really. I think not many people really just tipped them to go for it to get it. Because I saw the bookies as well. They were tipped on to actually finish 5th, which is crazy, but. Yeah, it was just that last third of the season, that last hurdle after they lost to Man City. I don't actually think the Man City loss is at fault, because it is Man City at the end of the day. I don't think it's Man City. The fact it was Man City. I think it was the fact that the FA Cup run was over. I think it was that fact. They couldn't get a good FA Cup run in. They couldn't, and then it's Nottingham Forest. They just got really lucky. This form just went awful. So
No,
I think
I do hear that. Are you having issues standing your camera up or something? Because you got more sound issues than I care to imagine. You keep touching the microphone.
I'm on iPad at the time because my baby's sleeping upstairs.
Yeah, you got more sound issues than you care to imagine, Kenny, because you keep touching the microphone. And we can see your fingers. Allison is what Valve says. Allison.
That header was insane. I've literally just watched it. It was great.
I believe we're second, mate, and you're 5th, so I don't think I have to come outside.
Diz saying, "Nal, I'm sorry, bro, but I'm on your case now. I'm starting to watch our goal matches because of you. Pray you win, or else I'm gonna banter you to death, mate. My team is utter horseshit." Like, I don't think it would be classed as banter if I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Like, Argyle basically ended the. I have compared. We've not even been playing with centre backs. We're that good. We've not even had centre backs. We've put them in the starting lineup, but we've not really played with them. So, I mean, you can banter, but it would be quite pointless because I just give everyone smoke, mate. My team is garbage at the moment. Like, I'm full aware of that. They're fully garbage. But that's not a problem. That's not a problem. Do what you need to do. Anyway, Argyle, different level. Also a big up to the 2 extra subscribers we've had whilst we've actually been away. It's actually very nice. We're slowly calling up.
You can thank me for that. You can thank me for that.
Big up to yourself there, mate. Diz saying, well, it's not going to be fun now. Well, I'm sorry that I've just admitted that our team is horseshit. That's really not my fault.
Well, you definitely have been this season after that 6-0 or 6-1 loss to Charlotte.
Hey, it was 6-0, but do you know what? We started the season off very well, and then just ended it. Like, literally, something just went wrong, and we sacked half our team. Not even joking, half the retained list. I think we kept 5 or 6 players. The rest of them were gone. Diz saying you just killed the excitement. I do apologise. I apologise profusely.
This is just brilliant. This is class. I love it. I'm watching Charles.
Where's Prime gone? Why is Prime not there? Prime come outside. I'm joking. I would never tell Prime to come outside. That would be.
I put in the comment. Yoshal just subbed with notification on like stream. She said, "Big up Max Tiger." I was like, "Wait, thanks, cheers."
Loving it.
Loving it.
But let's discuss Swansea a little bit more. Let me just. Yeah. Carry on, because you saw what are you saying, Kenny? What are you saying?
Can you see my camera?
No, but you've got more. You've still got sound issues. That's for sure.
Oh. Hold on. I'll even rejoin.
Cool.
What was his camera? Like
I've no idea. I've no idea what Kenny. I haven't got a clue what Kenny's doing. Kenny just doing a Kenny. But what do you make of Woodman? The defence has really been key for Swansea. And look, we're going to discuss in depth what they're about and why they're so good defensively. That is, but how important has Woodman, Gehi, Bennett, and Carl Norton been for Swansea this year? Who wants to start us off on that?
I'd rather say.
I was just waiting for a second, and then I was like, "Is he talking to Lewis or is he talking to me?"
Yeah. No. Who wants to start us off? Why? How important has that back line been for Swansea this year?
I'll start if you want me to.
Right, go for it, Ken.
Right. Swansea's back line. One of the best in the championship, of course. They're 4-1 to Huddersfield and 3-1 to Bristol.
Kenny, do you want me to give you a bit of advice quickly? Just turn the camera off, lay the iPad flat. You won't be touching the microphone then. There we go. It just had a bit. No. You can turn the camera off. No one wants to see your nostrils. No one needs to see up your nostrils, mate. Right. But Kenny, that's going to scare people away. But Kenny, in God's green earth are you doing? All right. I don't even. Kenny is just being Kenny. But what's everyone think of Swansea's backline? What have we noticed so far?
So
I'll go with this one then. If you want this, I'll go with this.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Well, I think the back line for Swansea has been quite solid this year. So they've played 46 games, they've conceded 39. So the back line and goalkeeper, obviously, have been as solid as they could be this season with how much they needed to do. They've got into the right positions. And in this case, in the defence, they've got the back line perfect. They've played the offside trap a lot. It's just the consistency. They need the consistency of the back line, and they need the offside trap a lot. They need everything. Oh wait, who's got a stream up? Back line. Is that Kenny? No one. Anyway, the back line for Swansea has been at its best, I think, in my opinion. Obviously losing 4-1 to Huddersfield, but you can't really blame them. Huddersfield have improved massively, so have everyone else. But at the moment, I can really see them going places with the back line they have. Conceding 39 goals is in 46 games quite impressive. So I think they can. I don't think they'll concede that many goals in the playoffs and also next season. So we'll just have to see what happens within the semi-final against Barnsley. And if they do hold Barnsley off with the back line, then that's going to be a big turning point in their I mean,
they're the team that's conceded the least amount of goals in the playoffs. That's for sure. They're set up arguably the best for playoff football. To be brutally honest with you, they seem to be set up in a way that it does help them. But what about you, Lewis? What do you think of Swansea's back line? How important has it been to them this season?
It's been very bar them few results that went out that got a bit embarrassing for the club. Apart from them 2 games, they've been pretty solid. It seems like you say, best defensive record in the league. So there's no question on whether the defensive line's been good or not. It's clearly been good enough. Otherwise, 1, they would concede more, and 2, they potentially wouldn't have been where they are at the minute, which is fighting to get back into the Premier League. So, should they not go up? It's the question of will they be able to keep hold of them players, or will they be able to get the players back on loan next season? Should they not go up?
Yeah, I think there's an element of that. I think they're this good because he's actually got a system. Dylan saying, "Come on, Wilfred Bonny scored some goals for Swansea." I didn't realise he was back there. I didn't realise he was back there. But Kenny, stop singing. What have you made of Swansea's defence this season?
So first of all, Gahey is probably in my team of the season. He is utterly immense. I think he is my favourite Swansea centre back because I think he's the best one. So they've only conceded 39 goals. At one point in the season, they had the least amount, but then of course the dip happened. But they have conceded the least amount in the playoffs. And if you look at their form, they hardly really concede. And they're not really a team to just lock in and just sit back. They're not like Burnley, which is what some people might get from it. They do attack quite a bit. They just have a really, really good... I personally think they just have a really, really good defence. When they do get a goal, sometimes they do try and lock it up at the back sometimes. But most of the time, what I've seen is that they try to attack and they try to, when they get the goal, they do sit back a little bit, but they just counter-attack trying to get the second goal. That is the defence is definitely the reason why they are in fourth place and why they were in the automatic promotion race for so long. Then they actually conceded much more goals in that last third of the season when they went to crap, which is reflected massively because they just Swansea aren't a very clinical side in my opinion, and it was proven that last third they finally started conceding the goals and not scoring them. That is what the defence does to the side. It just helps them massively. That is why they are fourth. That is why I personally think that they will reach the playoff final against Barnsley.
Yeah. So I've done my research on Swansea as you'd expect, as I've done on Brentford, as I've done on Bournemouth, doing doing Barnsley's tomorrow. What I've noticed and what I've seen and what I've read and what I've watched, they play belt. They're patient with their build up. They don't force things. They don't rush things. The centre, when they're attacking, the centre backs will sort of spread across the back line. The width will come from the wing backs, as you'd expect. Matt Grimes will normally drop in, and it would sort of go to a back four in a way, and he'll just sort of counter what they're doing. They played wide. They like wide play. You normally with these sort of formations in terms of the 3-5-2, you normally expect it to be going through the middle. You don't tend to expect it to be too wide, but they do like playing out wide. The way they link up with the strikers and the wing backs, that's how they like to play. They do link up. Obviously, Ayew and Lowe are normally the ones. Kenny, let me try something. I'm gonna see if it's Kenny. Do not unmute yourself for a second, because right, yeah, no, it is because you're holding it up. You're touching the microphone, which is giving me a consistent buzzing noise, and it's going to make me lose it in a second. Yeah, just turn off the camera. All is good. That's not a problem. That is actually, yeah, Ken, if you turn off your camera, I'll move you there, and then you can go under a playoff bit. All right, sorted. There we go, sorted. But yeah, as I was saying, they like to play out wide. They like their centre forwards. They like their centre forwards linking up with their wing backs. Kenny, you're really not helping. Like, I am literally I'm about 2 seconds of booting you from the stream. As I say, their centre forwards like to link up with their wing backs. They like to play wide. Their centre backs will cover the back line in terms of moving forwards and all of that. So what have you made? What do you make of that? Obviously, the fact that they do this link up play with their centre forwards and their wing backs, they have a set system, and this system works for them. That's their general play. So, Lewis, what do you feel? What do you feel that from that benefits them the most, apart from having that strong, stable back line where they don't tend to move away from this three at the back?
I think it's perfectly fine. It's whatever fits the manager, and it's like what many people said. I've been watching streams on. I've been in streams with. Don't break a working system. If the system's working, if the formation's working, no need to change it unless you go on a run where you're getting like 2-0 every time. Then maybe yes, it is time for change. But if it's working and you're not conceding many goals and you're scoring and you're winning and you get results, no need to change it at all.
Yeah, no, I hear that. What about you? I don't know if Max is still there. Well, I don't think he is. Kenny, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Excellent. What have you made of what I've said in terms of how they like to play wide? They're very much into their wing play, and the creations from the strikers and the wing backs and the link up play, the three at the back that spreads out wide to cover the areas that normally your left back and your right back would be covering.
Well, personally, I think that that is how they play in most of their games, of course, excluding some, but that is how they play most of the time. And it has worked for them a lot of the time this season, especially the first 2/3 of the season, until the last hurdle, of course, which I'm not going to mention again because it's probably getting annoying for you right now, because I've been saying it every time. But it is what it is. It has worked for them mainly, and I've not really got much else to say apart from the wide play from Swansea. They do have most of their best players in that wing back area though. The question is though, will Swansea play with that three at the back with wing backs, or will they play with the four at the back which they've been playing with mainly in that last?
He's mapped outside his house.
What?
What?
Is Max outside his house?
I have no idea what he's doing. God knows. But yeah, what were you saying, Kelly?
I was just talking about of course you are talking about the wing backs, but are they even going to play with wing backs? So they have been playing with 4 at the back, mainly in the last third of the season. So I'm not sure on that, but their tactics have worked mainly throughout the season, and I expect them personally to play a back 3, not a back 4. I just think that back 4 was used for the last part of the season just to try and secure a playoff place, which they did do in the end.
Yeah. No, I hear that. As you said,
So
Max is outside his house, though. What?
I said, Max, what are you doing?
I have no idea, Max. He was outside his house, I think. So we've discussed obviously the base of their play, as I say, the patient build up that they have. Let's look defensively. Why have Swansea done so well defensively this season? Because they've been on a different level. Their levels this season has been remarkable levels shown by Swansea this season. When they're defending, they go to a 5-back. So when they're defending, they drop back. They're sitting in their 5 at the back. Obviously, the wing backs drop back, and it's just that forward line, that back line of the 5. You then play with the 2 sort of a sort of 2 in the middle, followed by your sort of 1 is in one of the normal midfielders, Conor Hoyhane or another, will sit back in with Matt Grimes as part of that double pivot, and then you obviously have your 2 strikers. Kenny, last warning. That's all I'm gonna say. But in terms of that's how they defend. They normally like to go with a mid block. They like to force the opposition out wide. That is definitely something that they've been enjoying and got a lot of success from. And the reason that they do that is they rarely concede from crosses, very rare, which is a positive for them, and will make them better. It makes it easier for them. And when they're dealing with the crosses, once they've pushed them out wide, they then go down to a low block, ready to receive the crosses, because Swansea defensively, they love dealing with crosses. It's what they love to do. Mystic will say, my team Swansea, let's go, my Welsh brothers. Andre Ayew is incredible. I see. Andre Ayew is he's got that experience in the Andre Ayew's got a lot of Premier League experience. That's what I wanted to say. Wolf saying, I have been watching some Swansea games recently. Notice how concentrated their defenders are and how well they block shots. Yeah, they block very well. I don't know. Once Kenny turns off his camera, I'll add him in because there we go. It's getting hell of annoying. I won't lie to you, but yeah, they have been very good like that. That is true. But what do you guys make of Swansea defensively? Obviously, from what I've been saying, they like defenders as a 5-back. They're mid block. They like to force the opposition out wide. What sort of benefits do you think Swansea have to doing this? Because they rarely like teams going through the middle of them. I think only City could manage to do that.
It shows how they can work as a unit and how they've trained together and how they've got to each other's level and realised who's better where. Because it shows, because when obviously, because they're not going to put, I don't know, I don't know the weight of the players, but they're not looking at the smallest player going to man mark the biggest player or make sure the ones of the fastest player, the slowest player, to make sure they figure out each of it, where their strong point is, where are they weak, what someone's struggling with, what you're strong with, what you're not, and then figured it out. I mean, I figured it out at the start of the season because since like, yes, I had that blip here and there, but apart from then, I can't fault them this season. I really can't.
Yeah, no, I do hear that. Kenny, what have you made of Swansea defensively this season?
Well, of course, they have been also amazing defensively, apart from 1 or 2 games, Huddersfield. But apart from those 2 games, they've been utterly immense defensively.
Yeah.
And of course, they do deserve to have that record of least amount of goals conceded, because when they started conceding a little bit more goals, that was when they started dipping a lot, and they ended up finishing disappointing in the end, 4th, which a lot of fans have obviously taken at the start of the season. But that is why, because their defense started. I think it only dipped for a couple matches, but then the attack for Swansea, defense is on another level. So yeah, that's why I think of the defense. The defense has carried them a lot this season.
No, I hear that. I do hear that. Max, are you there? That is a no.
Don't tell me waving outside of his window again.
But no, look, Swansea defensively, they've been one of the best in the league. That is true. But guys, if you are new, please do leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It does massively help us, as I say. Swansea defence has concentration, courage, and composure. Swansea's attack has under it. I believe they will get promotion. We'll talk about that towards the end. The last bit I wanted to talk about is their possession, what they do with the ball, and really what they do and how they like to play the game. Now, they like to control play, right? They're by no means a counter-attacking team like Bournemouth. Swansea are very much a possession-based team. They like to control the play. They like to have the ball. They like to sort of possession play as such. So they like to keep the ball. They like the possession. They like to control the tempo and all of this. Swansea have been excellent at doing that all season. When they lose the ball, this is the bit that you sometimes see and you sometimes don't. You don't tend to see it as well organised as Swansea are. When they lose the ball, all the other players will drop back into their original position. The player that is closest to the ball will close them down. And by doing that, it just offers them so much stability, because it stops, it delays the sort of phase of play. Right? So it delays the attack. It enables them to get into their positions. That just simply makes it harder for you to be counter-attacked against. So the way they do it and the way they attack and the way they go about things, it does really help them. And that for me is just how they've been set up. Steve Cooper's come in, he's set them up absolutely excellently. And I really don't think anyone can sort of moan about Swansea. They've been excellent defensively. And that's what Swansea are about. Now, attacking wise, not so much. They've not scored many goals. I think only Barnsley, I think, have scored. Nope. Swansea have. So they've conceded the less, but they've also scored the least. So whilst yes, defensively they are absolutely solid, scoring goals has been an issue for Swansea, hasn't it?
It seems that way from what yeah, it can be a problem when that's the issue, because as much as you need to score the goals. I know that sounds simple, but sometimes it can't, because sometimes you just don't have that mentality, and sometimes, well, obviously you want to score goals, but obviously you can't. Like, if your opponent's defense is as strong as yours, then it's going to be very, very hard to break through, just like it'll be for them to get through you. So it's a bit of a. I can see the game on, I don't know, they're playing Monday, something like that, as a very good one between Swansea and Barnsley.
Yeah, no, I hear that. What about you, Kenny? What have you What have you made of Swansea in terms of how they defend? Because we've obviously, and as we already have, we praised them for how well they've done defensively, but it's about how they defend. What have you made of that?
I think that guy in the chat hit the nail on the head, really. I'm not sure what his name is. I think, is it Mystic Wolf?
Wolf, yeah.
The defenders have just been very, very concentrated, and they're blocking shots, and they're making sure that they don't. So our points, they make sure they don't give any shots away. And that is why the concentration of the Swansea defence is why they've... What's that? What's that?
It's someone shouting in near Max. That's what we could hear. But yeah, carry on, Kenny. Carry on.
But yeah, I think this should be Mystic Wolf, to be honest, lads. Come on if you want it, but you really have hit the nail on the head with that. That is exactly what I was thinking. The concentration level of Swansea is admirable, and I think that is why the defense is so good. The way they block shots is utterly immense. And yeah, my friend, hopefully he can see Swansea get split. Hold on.
Yeah, no, look, I think you're right there in terms of what he's done. Wolf saying, I hear Swansea's attacking tactics is possession. Any idea what the defending tactics are? Do they press 10 players behind the ball? So it's a bit weird, as I say. So they don't tend to defend with 10 men behind the ball. That's certainly not how they do it. They do press, but sort of structured. What they tend to do is when they're being attacked, they'll have one player close down the player with the ball. That then delays the transition. That allows the other players to really hit into their position. And then they sort of just go from there. They're very good like that. They'll be into possession. They'll be in their spaces. They'll be in their positions. One player will close down the ball, which prevents the transition from, or not prevent it, but delays the transition, which makes them harder to defend again, to attack. In reality, they've been extremely well defensively. They do need to work on their attack. They need to get more goals. That's going to be the only issue that they come against Barnsley, because Barnsley, whilst they have been a bit worse defensively, they conceded 11 more goals in the season. It's very difficult. Barnsley are the worst if we're looking at goals conceded and just purely on stats. Barnsley are the worst team in the playoffs defensively. But Swansea are a top team. That is for sure. Chelsea still can't score. DC saying RJ hit it. Big up to RJ. Absolutely mega. Absolutely fantastic. We love to see it. I'm very happy for him. Very, very happy indeed. So if you haven't already, please check out RJ's channel, Robotic Jaguar, who's just hit 10K. So please go and do that for me. But let's do predictions. What are we expecting to see from Swansea? What do you think that we'll be seeing Swansea in the final?
Well, here's the issue. I put my prediction video out yesterday, after I believe it was.
Yeah.
And I said no. Not knowing about the background, because I didn't really check it up. And I just about form going into playoffs, because also that's a big thing alongside obviously your defensive attack and your form going into it. And I'm against them. But now I'm hearing, like, I don't know, like, I'm so undecided now, because obviously they're good defensively, but they're not that good attackively. So I'm really undecided. I think I will stick with what I said with Barnsley to go through, but I don't know. I think it'll be a very good game.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Wolf saying, well explained now. Thank you for answering. Huge big ups to you. Not a problem. Not a problem. I had it written down anyway.
Did you ask me while I
I've,
was gone?
huh?
Did you ask me anything while I was gone?
No, no, I didn't. But no, I had it all written down. I've color coded it. It's all in separate segments of what I wanted to talk about. But Max, if you're there, do you think we'll see Swansea get promoted? Not promoted. Do you think we'll see them in the final of the playoffs?
Well, it's a big ask for Barnsley, of course, to beat Swansea. They are the best. Apart from Norwich and Watford, they have the least goals against, which is very impressive throughout this season. I think if they get their attack and defence sorted out properly and organise their tactics well, then I think they will just about beat Barnsley. But I think it'll have to be in the second leg. If they don't get it sorted, then it'll be a Barnsley win. But I can see them going through to the final.
Yeah.
But then see them getting knocked out by Brentford. That is my early prediction for the playoffs. Brentford win the final, but Swansea might differ with Barnsley a little bit.
Yeah, no, I hear that. What about you, Kenny? What do you expect to see from Swansea? Do you expect to see them make the playoff final?
I think they could definitely make the Super Bowl final. But I have a
playoffs. You mean?
Yeah, playoffs. I don't know how confused over Super Bowl. But
I was a little bit confused as well. Don't worry, Kenny. Don't worry.
Basically, I think that they will reach the playoff final because Barnsley are a very, very good side. Next season they could go on to do big things. So I think this season is a bit too soon, to be honest with you. And that is what I do think Swansea will go to Wembley. But I think if it's Bournemouth, I think they'll lose. If it's Brentford, then I'll say I think they'll win. But of course, I don't think it will be Brentford. I think it'll be Bournemouth-Swansea final, and they'll lose the final.
That's a fair one. I think Swansea will get to a final. I absolutely do. I think Barnsley, as Wolf asks here, are Barnsley the underdogs? Yes, Barnsley are by far underdogs for the game. I fully expect Swansea to do the job. It is playoffs though, so you can never be so sure. But I do expect Swansea to fully do the job, to be strong, to be imposing, as Barcelona carve Chelsea open again. Luckily this time they don't score from it. But no, look, I think Swansea will get to a final. I think whoever they face in the final is going to be tough. I think it's going to be a tough final for them. That much I am aware of. But I do think they have the quality to make that final. But before we wrap up and we do what we need to do there, I want to talk about some key players for Swansea. They've got Mark Gehi, they've got Ryan Bennett, they've got Cole Norton, well-established names. Obviously, Gehi on loan from Chelsea. Ryan Bennett and Cole Norton, very, very, they're household names in terms of the Football League and even the Premier League to a degree. They have Matt Grimes, who's been with them for quite some time. They've got Andre Ayew. Andre Ayew is going to be crucial, I think, to them because of that experience in the Premier League as well. They've obviously got Conor Hourihane, who also has similar experience, obviously of Villa, being in the Championship, knows what it takes to get promotion. They've got a lot of big names. Do you expect them to really be the underdogs for promotion with the names they have, the experience that they have? Are we looking at Swansea as the underdogs of promotion?
Should I answer that?
Yeah, go for it.
No, not at all. Swansea. I think they're quite close with Brentford in that they do have a great squad. And I think Steve Cooper, best manager out of all the four managers in there, they are nowhere near as much of an underdog as Barnsley are. I think it's Swansea and Brentford are quite close together in terms of being
5-0.
third, but they are not the underdog.
Oh, it's been disallowed.
Not at all. Barnsley definitely for me the biggest underdogs. Swansea, I don't think they're favourites, but I do definitely. They are nowhere near as poor as Barnsley. I'm not saying Barnsley are poor, by the way. I just think Barnsley are the worst side in the playoff picture, which, to be honest, I think most of their fans are just delighted that they even got there in the first place. And I'm glad they did too, and I wish them all the best of luck. But I do think they are the underdogs. Swansea are not anywhere near the underdogs, in my opinion.
That's fair. What about you, Lewis? So are we seeing Swansea as underdogs for promotion? Are they in that bracket? I mean, favourites are either Bournemouth or Brentford. I think a lot of people are saying whoever wins that probably goes up. But are we seeing Swansea as maybe dark horses then, if not underdogs? Definitely dark horses of getting promotion.
I don't think you can call anyone underdogs in the Championship. They've earned the right. I think all 12 teams in all 3 leagues have earned the right to be in this bracket. No chance to go up. So you can't call anyone underdogs. Because I said it in my video. You said to me 10 months ago that Barnsley will be pushing for promotion to the Premier League. I'd laugh at you. Because they're like a point or so from relegation.
Yeah.
So I would laugh at you if you said 10 months ago that Barnsley was going to be pushing Premier League. But it's now it's determination of Barnsley that's turned it around for them. So I don't think you call anyone underdogs in these 4 teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, Barnsley will be main underdogs in on the bookies and that. But you can't go in it on any because anything can happen.
Yeah, no, I do hear that. Chelsea women have lost the Champions League final. Barcelona are Women's Champions League winners this year. Commiserations to Emma Hayes and her team. But let's talk some comments here. Wolf saying, do the Swansea midfield have quality? Sorry, when it comes to Sky Bet Championship, I am just a casual. No, look, they have quality. They've got Conor Hoyhane, they've got Matty Grimes, they got some really good players. They've got some really big players, some really big names, household names as well. They've got quality to cause damage. Wolf saying, everyone talks about Bournemouth and Brentford as the faves, so I definitely think Swansea as the underdog, they will prove everyone wrong. Maybe underdog is the wrong word. Maybe it is dark horses. They're certainly not favourites to go up, but that doesn't mean that they can't. But Max, what about you? Do you think Swansea? Do you think they're dark horses to get promotion this year?
Yeah, underdogs is quite an understatement for either side in this set of teams to be in the playoffs. If I had to say there were teams were underdogs, I'd probably go Barnsley with the seasons they've had in the Championship and how they haven't been able to get up there as quickly. But I do think Barnsley will bounce back this season. It just all depends on Swansea, but in their performance. But Swansea are dark horses in this one. But I can see them having a slight I can see them go on the up. I can see them having a chance of going up and having a shot at the final. But it all comes down to tomorrow, really, because that's going to be a big game for either side. And whoever wins the first leg is going to be more confident going into the second leg. And then whoever loses the first leg will obviously want to improve on that and try and get as many goals as they can to put themselves through.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. And the last bit I want to talk about Steve Cooper. He's been absolutely excellent at Swansea this year. He's got an 82% win percentage with Swansea. Now, win percentages going into playoffs don't really count an awful lot in terms of what they're achieving, but that's only going to be a positive. That's only going to be a positive, isn't it?
It's got to be, because
Yeah.
it has to be, because you're looking at potentially one of the best, if not the best, championship manager in the division this league this season and overall. I think you're looking close between him and Thomas Frank. I think they're both exceptional managers. But it's down to the day. It's like I said in my video. I will go back to that. Should the team make it to Wembley and should the team win the final, they get this massive ball saying we've stepped up, and it means that you've stepped up and you've done it, and you've done it in style. Like playoffs, yes, it's a stressful time for any team, but it gives you more time to like prepare. Like yes, you're scared, but like it's just like it's like it's like excitement in a way. Like it's like you're going through like the harder stage. As much as you want to go up the easy way, it's the more competition in the harder stage of the playoffs. But like I say, you are literally talking about one of the best, if not the best, manager in the championship this season and overall.
Yeah. No, it's totally fair. Totally understand it. Kenny, what about you? What do you make of Steve Cooper and how well he's done?
Definitely, for me, the best manager in the championship this season, except Xisco and Daniel Farke, because obviously top two, they have to be the best two managers in the championship. For me, he has been probably the best. He is probably the best manager in the championship for me, apart from those two. Apart from maybe the Barnsley boss. Other than that, he is. I don't get why this is, by the way, but a lot of Swansea fans don't like him and want him out, which I have no idea why, because they don't have a striker. It's not really his fault. So the fact that he's done all this without a striker, by the way, that's why they're not clinical. I forgot about it earlier. So they don't have they don't have an out-and-out striker. They have Jamal Lowe, of course, and Andre Ayew, but they're primarily wingers. So imagine what he could do with a striker in the summer. So I don't get how you would want him out. And if he does stay, Swansea are definitely in contention for that place, because 82% win. Their win percentage, by the way, is only bettered by that of Norwich's and Watford's, I believe. Watford, definitely Norwich's. So that is, they have a better win percentage under Steve Cooper, by the way. This is not taken into consideration last season too. They have a better win percentage. The third best win percentage, I believe, as a championship manager in the championship. So that is just amazing. 82% is a very, very high number. It's just amazing. Yeah. I reckon.
No, look,
I reckon next season they can. If they don't go up, then they can really. I think they can really just storm the championship if they get a striker and just pull away from the rest and finish first next season if they don't reach it to the Premier League.
No, I hear that. And what about you, Max? What do you make of what Steve Cooper's done at Swansea, especially out of all the managers in the playoff spots? He is the guy with the highest win rate. So do you think that will have an effect going into playoffs?
Well, obviously into the playoffs, it's going to be quite hard for either side. But with the 28% that's missing, it's still quite a good. It's brilliant win rate in percentage. Obviously, Brentford have 78, and Kenny's put the rest in the chat, so a private chat, so I don't need to mention that. But the win rate for him has just been brilliant. If it wasn't for Watford and Norwich, they would have probably been champions this year with how well they've done. And I think that's going to affect what's going to happen against Barnsley and whoever they go up in the final, if they get in the final. But as Kenny said and as Lewis said, there's just no way we can predict this. But yeah, Steve Cooper's job at Swansea this year. Absolutely brilliant. Really hope if he does leave Swansea, I really hope he goes on to do better things before he retires, because if he can do this at Swansea, he can do this anywhere else. And especially with the tactics he's got, has obviously made sure that they have conceded the least amount of goals apart from Watford and Norwich. So that's going to be a big talking point in the playoffs as well. And with the win rate and how many goals they've conceded this season, that's quite a big achievement for Steve Cooper and his side. And Swansea, if they do, as Kenny said, if they don't go up this season, it's going to be quite an easy breeze in the first half of the season. But who knows at this point? Championship unpredictable, but we'll just have to see what Steve Cooper can pull out in the semis. First leg tomorrow. And
look, you mentioned it there. You can't predict it, because this is why we love the playoffs. You can't predict who will go up, who will not. It's very difficult. But guys, we're going to wrap it up there. It's been an amazing show. Been great to have anyone who's jumped in the comments, everyone that's been on the stream. Massively appreciate anyone who has subscribed to our channel recently. Big up to yourselves as well. And if you are new, though, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Check out our Twitter at Let's Talk EPL Let's Talk EPL and No Context LTPL. Instagram at Let's Talk EPL _ and TikTok at Let's Talk Premier League. But Lewis, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at the username LewisPlay55, and you can find me on YouTube with the name Perry Sports.
Perfect. And what about you, Kenny? Where can they find you?
Sorry about that. They can find me at Spogler's Class and at Kenny TV. I've done my playoff predictions on TV. So if you want to see them, then you can go into there. Before subscribe to my channel, of course, do subscribe to this channel and like this video. But yeah, hopefully, if you want to, you can check mine out.
100%. And Max, where can they find you, bro?
You can find me on Instagram, MaxTagHD Official. Also find me on YouTube, MaxTagHD. I'll be doing a lot of Euro content when they come around, if they ever do come around, if they don't get cancelled. But yeah, TikTok as well, MaxTagHD. And subscribe to this channel. We've got how many now? 257, I think it is. 257.
Something like that.
Subscribe to RJ Robotic Jaguar as well. And also go subscribe to Charles Strong TV. I'm sure they're going to smash the content as well. So,
100%. Do go check out all the places that Max said there. And as we have done on the previous two, we're going to end it with the special made playoff championship video. But until next time, thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, weekly review show, 8:30. So make sure you check us out for that. But until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a bit.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to